beautiful people. I hope and pray y'all are all doing phenomenally well. So I'm super excited because Burden has came back a second time or third time. I don't know what time it is, right? We've had a few of these to uh to just highlight the amazing and incredible features on PropStream. And brother, thank you so much again for being generous with your time
Of
and
course.
walking us through the platform. I say it all the time. I am a huge fan of PropStream. I think for anybody that is getting started in real estate investing should be using PropStream. It's like PropStream is like the fuel to the Ferrari in a sense, right? Like you can have a Ferrari, but a Ferrari with no gas does you absolutely no good, right? It's just sitting there. And so PropStream, y'all, really helps us pull the data, systematize our marketing, skip trades, generate leads, analyze deals. And again, I've been using it since I've been in the industry for 5 years now. So I've heard through the grapevine, y'all got some new kind of AI technology stuff going on, rolling out now. And I'm really interested to diving in that with you.
Yeah, definitely. We just came out about 3 weeks ago. Amazing tool. I mean, again, I've been working at PropStream since 2013, and obviously we do collect data. We provide that to our users. But now with the introduction of machine learning and predictive analytics, and what we have in plan for PropStream intelligence is what we call it.
Nice.
Ooh, man, this thing is amazing. But right now, we have instructed our PropStream intelligence to do two things, and I would love to show you guys what those two things are today.
Let's do it.
All
Absolutely.
right, let's dive into it. So to kind of paint the picture a little bit for those that are tuning in, PropStream's been in business since 2006, and our main mission is to go get that data on your behalf. Now, could you do what we're doing? Absolutely. You could. We all can go to the county directly and grab records, just like PropStream's doing on your behalf. We could become a realtor, get access to the MLS, right? Might take some, courses and an
Uh-huh.
exam, but you'll get access to that data just like we do. So again, our business is to get data, bring it over to you, hence the word PropStream, the name of the business. But what we've done recently is we've kind of introduced a middle point, and this is PropStream intelligence. So in the past, we would get the data, clean it up, and then stream it over to you. Now what we're doing is we're getting the data, cleaning it up, processing it through PropStream Intelligence, our new predictive analytics and machine learning platform, I should say, and then
Mhm.
providing you the data. So I like to
Nice.
think of PropStream Intelligence kind of like a TSA at the airport. Like you got to go through them without a doubt. So our data is going through PropStream Intelligence,
Okay.
and it's going to learn through that data. But the cool thing is that we're able to instruct PropStream Intelligence to do certain things. So just to
So
let
what,
everyone know, it's growing, but we've instructed it to do two things right now, and there'll be more things along the way. But go ahead, Clifford. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, I'm sorry. I think I'm just getting ahead of the curve. That's all. Because I was thinking like, okay, well, what two things is it checking for? I guess I'm just eager. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, let me actually. Well, the great question. Let me actually share my screen. Let's dive right on into it and show you exactly what I'm referring to. So what again we're doing is we're getting this data set, multiple data sets, and we're running it through PropStream Intelligence and then providing it to you. Now, as I mentioned, we have multiple data sets. So when we go to, let's say, Dallas, Texas, we do have a filter menu, as most people know. One thing about PropStream is we do lead generation, and we talked about that in our previous video. And so as you can see in our filter menu, we have tons of data, right? We have different leads like auctions and delinquencies, pre-foreclosures, upside down properties, deceased owners. We obviously collect property details, different classes of property, years built, beds, bathrooms, whether it's in an HOA or not. We have our new PropStream intelligence filter, which we'll go over in just a few moments. We have MLS data, which allows us to give you the ability to filter for on, off market, or any statuses for that matter, like an expired or failed listing. We have pre-foreclosure data, we have owner information data, lien, bankruptcy, divorce data, value and equity data, and mortgage data. So to emphasize my point, we have a lot of data that we're collecting on your behalf. So what we've decided to do is to take our MLS data. This is the first thing we're doing with PropStream Intelligence, and run it through PropStream Intelligence to do one specific thing, and that's to analyze photos.
Okay.
So earlier last night, or earlier last night, that makes no sense. Last night, we did a demonstration actually in the same city, and we came across this property that was on the market,
Mhm.
9416, right? And so when we went to details, it looks normal, just like any other property that you may have previously visited prior to my demonstration today. The slight difference, though, is that you're going to see this new bar right down the middle called PropStream Intelligence. Now, this
Mhm.
isn't going to be available on all properties for many reasons. One, it probably hasn't been blessed yet. So again, we're processing a lot of data. We have over 153 million records, so it's going to take time. Two, it probably hasn't been on the MLS. Remember, the first thing that we're doing is providing property condition, and we'll talk about that in just a second. It uses MLS data and MLS photos. So if the property hasn't been on the MLS, there's no photos, it's hard for PropStream Intelligence to provide a grade for you. Okay.
Okay.
And so those are the reasons as to why you might be pulling a property right now as I speak, and you don't see this bar. But
Okay.
as I mentioned a few moments ago, PropStream Intelligence is a seed that's been planted and the data is the water. As we constantly get more and more data, it's watering PropStream Intelligence, and intelligence is growing and learning and learning. So you may not see it now, but that doesn't mean it may not appear in a week from now or when that
Right.
property gets listed. Because I'm a firm believer, this is just me, that
Mhm.
every property will eventually be listed on the market at one point or another. Now, are there properties out there that have been passed on from generation to generation and generation and generation and have never been on market? Absolutely. That's a very
Well,
rare situation.
yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
very rare, right? And I believe that one generation eventually will make a financial decision that they shouldn't have, and that's what's going to cause them to finally sell that house. When that house goes on market, right? And when the agent takes photos, when the agent gives us the listing details, PropStream Intelligence is going to be able to do its thing. So, first thing we're doing with PropStream Intelligence, and this is in regards to our MLS data.
I do have a question.
Go for it. Let's go ahead and answer those questions before we dive right into this.
In your opinion, if I'm a new wholesaler and I'm getting started and okay, I know that I have PropStream Intelligence that's scanning these photos. How does that benefit us as real estate investors and as home?
Ooh, great question. So many benefits. So first benefit I could see is if let's say I'm a wholesaler now, okay? Well, one of the categories we have is failed listings, expired listings.
Mhm.
So I can pull a list of expired listings in my market, and let's say I get 200 results in the last 6 months. Well, 200 properties that are failed on the market probably have an average of about 10 to 15 photos apiece.
Yeah.
So you can go through, what is that, nearly 2,000 photos if you'd
Yeah.
like on your own, and then figure out what condition you can come up with. Or that's
Mhm.
where PropStream Intelligence comes into play. It goes through all of those photos within those failed listings. And so when you click on the property, it tells you right off the bat, hey, the condition of this property is average. And
Yeah.
here's the breakdown of the inside and the outside. So one, it's going to help you analyze and understand the property's condition within a few moments. So that way, when you're talking to the owner, you know if the house is fully renovated or in disrepair. Two, the conversation with the homeowner is going to be a lot easier now, right? So
Yeah.
now you know, hey, the bathroom needs to be done. Now you know that the exterior needs some love. You can utilize that in your conversation with the sellers. When the contract is finally signed, it can be used in a conversation with the buyer. Mr. Buyer, we have this property, we got it on contract. However, here's the current condition of where the property sits, and here are just some things that you might need to focus on, right? The interior, the exterior, the kitchen. And third, the contractor. You might be in a conversation with a contractor, and now you know exactly what part of the house needs to be done. So, to me, there are many benefits in terms
Yeah.
of just knowing that information from understanding the condition so that I don't have to go through the photos, B, conversations with seller, buyer, and even the contractor. And then the,
Yeah.
the last benefit we'll be talking about is we did introduce a filtering menu for it as well.
Okay. Nice.
All right.
And that would work on both sides, whether you're wholesaling or fix and flip. So if you're buying the property for a fix and
Correct.
at least now you have a really, really good idea what you're getting into before you even step foot on that property.
Correct. So the first thing we told PropStream Intelligence to do is take a look at our MLS data, particularly the photos. analyze these photos, see if it looks new, if it's a fix and flip, or if it's, been lived in before. And you can tell this is not like a new fix and flip. That doesn't look like a new kitchen, clearly it's staged. We can see some wear and tear on the cabinets.
Mm.
So again, I could have done this myself, but when we're talking about 200 leads with, 10 photos a piece, it's going to get carried away. So
Right.
PropStream Intelligence is looking at the photos on my behalf, and then it's giving me a condition on that property. So it's saying based on those photos that it just looked at, it believes the total condition of this property is good. And here are the four breakdowns. The exterior looks good. So based on the outside photos, it looks good. We could clearly tell that's not like a new roof or anything, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We have the interior. We saw some photos there, and the kitchen, and then the bathroom. So it actually thinks the bathroom is in excellent condition. I'm curious, what does that bathroom look like? Um, oh yeah, look at that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously
It's
it's not
solid.
new, but I don't know why, but
It's nice.
they, it's nice. But I mean,
Yeah.
look, we could see there's a little shard missing right here on the glass,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it's excellent, but it's not like amazing. But we could see how AI is doing that. And again, it's
Yeah.
a seed that's been planted as we continuously get more photos to be able to compare. Hey, maybe one day in the future, that little chip of glass that we saw might be the reason it gets downgraded, right?
Hmm.
So as it sees another house with a full window, right, no broken glass, it's learning. So if you want to know more about what these grades represent, there's a new tab called Intelligence. You can head on over there. Tells you the property's current condition and the breakdown of those four areas. And then there is an how to interpret this data. When you hit expand, it tells you exactly what good means, what disrepair means, what luxury means, what excellent means. So why was that bathroom labeled excellent? Well, it features components that are like new with no needed maintenance or repairs. So again, like new, luxury. Why wasn't that bathroom named luxury? Well, luxury features new components with no signs of wear or use. And clearly, we looked at the photo and there was some wear and use
Yeah.
in that bathroom. So this is the power of PropStream intelligence. It goes through these photos and it analyzes it. So that way you can have better conversations with your sellers, your buyers, your contractors. And here's the benefit. Not only are you going to be able to start seeing the condition, we have given you the ability to generate leads off that. So now when you pull up a market and you go into our filter menu, we have a new section called PropStream Intelligence, and I can look for properties based on a condition now. So I could say, hey, look, I'm looking for everyone who has a delinquency, right? So I could pick a list first and then go to property intelligence and say, not only do they have the delinquency, but let's also make sure that the overall condition of the property is average or below. That's what I'm looking for. So you have a motivation, you didn't pay your taxes, and your house is not really in great condition. So for me, that's two things you got to worry about. Paying your
Right.
taxes, and then you got to upkeep your property if this is a house you want to continue, or how about I give you an offer and maybe find you another place to move into that's a little bit more modern?
Nice.
That's the power of PropStream intelligence. So you're going to be able to take a load of these properties. Some photos haven't been uploaded by agents, but that's just because of the delay. We do have the photos. It just processes a little bit. But now
Yeah.
you could start seeing, in this case, Wallace Street here. This was a house labeled average or below, and we can see, right? The disrepair in these properties.
Yeah.
That's what I love about property stuff. I didn't have to go through these photos and be like, oh, wait, this property is not really good. No, I
Right.
can, PropStream is doing that for us, and now I can filter for it. So not
Yeah.
only is it used when you're analyzing properties, but it's a data set now. I could go in there and say, show me every house that's in disrepair. And here's the crazy part. We said this in our past conversations before, Clifford. I have this belief not every property is going to be on a list. And so the cool thing with PropStream is we don't force you to pick a list. So you could just say, hey, I just want to see everyone that's in average condition or below and
Mhm.
go after just those properties. So it doesn't have to be a pre-foreclosure. It doesn't have to be a lien. It could just be a house that's just in disrepair. That could be the reason that they would like to take your offer. And in this case, we jumped up to 3,700 properties with the average condition. So
Nice.
that is our first thing that we're doing with PropStream Intelligence. Do you have any questions on that, Clifford?
No, I love it. It's more so a lot of thoughts running through my mind, and for our listeners too, what pops up in my mind as I hear this, I think about speed and convenience. Um, Speed is important in my opinion. I'm trying to find the right words to say when it comes to uh, helping these sellers out that are in distressed situations, right? And if I can have just a little tiny edge over the next real estate investor that can get me in front of them before them, I'm better. And I think that
Mm.
PropStream or this feature can allow me to do it because even houses that hit the MLS that are below average, I can even make offers on there because number one, they're below average or they need
Yep.
repairs. And it's just going to give me a little bit of an edge to start making offers faster, in my opinion.
I agree. And I love it. You know what I mean? And this is ever evolving. So today a house could be labeled good, and then Clifford buys it, and then he fixes and flips it, and then 6 months later he puts it on market, and now there are new photos, and now the new condition comes in. And now
Mm,
that property is in luxury versus good. This is
yeah.
why I love it, is because it's constantly evolving. Properties are always being listed, photos are always being uploaded. We're going to be able to capture that data, give it a grade, and then better assist you with understanding where that property sits. So that's the first thing we've done with property intelligence. Now on to the second thing. Now, as most of you know, one of the things that we do very well is we collect mortgage data. So PropStream is very aggressive when it comes to collecting mortgage data. We collect up to 4 positions. We know who the lenders are, the interest rates, the different loan types. So we told PropStream Intelligence, hey, why don't you take a look at that stuff for us, as well as those pre-foreclosure records that we collect. And can you identify indicators, similarities, or behaviors or patterns? So go through the pre-foreclosures, look at those mortgages within those pre-foreclosures, find behaviors, find indicators. And once
Mm,
you do, how similar is this homeowner? This homeowner is not in pre-foreclosure, by the way. How similar is this homeowner compared to those pre-foreclosure records? And
mm,
so PropStream Intelligence says, well, you know what? We think this homeowner is in a medium high category, meaning definitely heading in that direction. And if you want to learn more about what medium high or what these percentages mean, you can head over to PropTime Intelligence and hit expand, and you can see what all those definitions represent.
I
So
love
again,
I love it.
I I could have come to the same conclusion, and I'll tell you how I would have done it, just reading the data, right?
Yeah.
So first off, this person has a lien on their property, contractor's lien, 250,000. Second, this property was on the market recently and they canceled it. It was on the market for 1.1. But however, when we look at the property history, it actually was listed for a lot higher, 1.2. Then they
Mm,
lowered it to 1.19. Then they lowered it one final time to 1.1. And then finally, it was canceled and no longer on market. So this
mm,
homeowner is exhausting their options. We went from buying the property, we renovated it because we have a contractor's lien, put it on the market, didn't sell at the initial price. We lowered it, lowered it, lowered it. Now it's off market. Uh-oh. And that's what this is saying is that, hey, if this continues, then that foreclosure is going to get very, very, very high. And eventually it's going to go to the situation. We saw this property in California here. This property
I
actually
might
is in pre-foreclosure. So we can see that this property is in pre-foreclosure. We can see the default amount. Property also has an HOA lien, and it failed earlier this year, right?
right.
So pre-foreclosure lien and you tried to sell and fail. This one is rated at a very high. Now it's not saying 100% because there's still an option for this homeowner, right? We're not in foreclosure yet. That's why it's not at 100%. That
Yeah.
2% is where you can come in, where you
Mm,
come in and say, hey, look, I know you've exhausted all these options to save yourself, right? You tried to sell, it didn't work. I know you have the HOA on your neck right now, and I see that you have a default. Here's what I think we can do to get you out of this. This is why I love the foreclosure factors, because I could have came to the same conclusion, but what it's doing, in my opinion, is it's just confirming my gut instinct, my intuition, the severity of the situation this homeowner is in. So not only does it confirm the gut instinct, but guess what, guys? We gave you the ability to generate leads off of it too. So in our PropStream intelligence section, you have the foreclosure factor filter. So you can now say, hey, look, I want a tax lien with a very high foreclosure factor, or
right.
just anybody in general with a very high foreclosure factor. So This is PropStream Intelligence. It was launched early November. It's growing. We have some other things we're going to be introducing. So, long story short, that intelligence area, it may have just two things right now, property condition and foreclosure factor, but be prepared. This area is going to expand. There are going to be some other things we're going to instruct our AI to do that we know for sure is not going to just benefit you, but your conversations with sellers, buyers, contractors. And then let's not forget the lead generation aspect. We're always wondering how can we utilize this to help you find those motivated sellers and buyers out there. But that's our PropStream intelligence. And Clifford, thanks for letting me have the time and thanks for giving me this platform to share this amazing tool that took us a while to create, but the intention was to assist you guys at the end of the day.
No, I love it. It's an honor for me. Again, I say that 1,000 times because I mean it. I it makes me excited because for somebody like myself that is an actual user of the platform, that's what I want people to know. I'm an actual user of the platform, right? To have a company and an organization that's been around forever to still say, hey, we're not going to be complacent in the services that we've been providing, but yet we're going to continue to elevate and innovate what we're doing as a company. I think is amazing, especially for me as a user, right? So now I know that okay, PropStream is on this journey with me as a real estate investor. As I'm growing, PropStream is still growing, and they're giving me
Mhm.
more tools and resources to grow even higher and faster and give me a competitive edge. So again, I'm blessed just to be at the beginning stages of this with y'all, like already, right? I can only imagine what it's going to be like in the next year or two, just like 5 years ago, PropStream has grown tremendously.
And that's what I'm really excited about PropStream Intelligence. As I mentioned, we planted a seed. The data is our water. And as we get data every single day, this intelligence thing is going to learn and get stronger and better. But it's good. And it's good to be a part of everyone's journey as well. And guess what, guys? We're not perfect. So if there's something you'd like to see, something you think we could do with PropStream Intelligence, we'd absolutely love to hear your feedback. So don't hesitate to ever tell us what you would like to to see added in our application.
Sure. I love it, brother. Thank you again for being so generous with your time. Y'all, there'll be a link for a 7-day free trial with PropStream in the description. Click on it. Let's test run this PropStream intelligence and give it a go. But y'all have a blessed one.